don't have any calmness, and they go outside and they're struggling, they have stress, and when they meet person who finally have that sacred presence, it calms people down. Today's 1092nd day that I'm here to learn. I'm learning how to support your dreams, your goals, allow you to become the person that you want to become. Today I speak about charisma. How to become more charismatic. I think that's a powerful thing. I think that we do not seek that because we believe that our charisma is something that is outside. Sometimes it's like you need to be confident, you need to be shouting, you need to be outrageous. But I think that that's not what charisma is. Because I believe that charisma is something that when you walk with charisma, you're walking as a fire in a dark, and people want to get some warmth, and they come to you to get that heat. So I see that charisma is something internal candle that every single person have. Every single person has internal candle. The only difference is that not every single person has that candle on fire. And charismatic people have that candle, and that candle is burning with massive fire, massive flame. And some people do not have that flame anymore. And that's why people who have very little fire, or maybe even no fire at all, is drawn to, attracted by charismatic people because they want to ignite their fire as well. And that's what charisma is: internal fire, internal flame that really attracts other people based on your living, the way how you live. Because I think that a lot of times people believe that you need to be very outrageous and speak a lot and communicate a lot to really show how charismatic you are. But I think that that's not true. I think sometimes you just need to make 2, 3 words, or sometimes no words at all. Just being able to communicate with your face, with all body language, with hands, with the shoulders, with everything, you're able to communicate that you're a charismatic person. And today we'll share like three things that what we need to focus on when you want to become more charismatic, when you want to improve, when you want to help others. And it's much more simple. I think that we think that we need to really change ourselves to become our charismatic. Because I think that every single one of us is charismatic, but sometimes we just do not ignite that flame. And I will share today three things that we need to focus on to really become more charismatic. So number one, and the key part of become more charismatic is inner mastery. Inner mastery. I said the charisma is internal candle. So how we ignite that candle is by inner mastery. We need to improve ourselves. And what are those? That means that we need to understand who we are, self-awareness, authenticity. Because when you perform at your best is when you perform who you are and who you want to be. Because a lot of times we want to really put ourselves in other different opportunities, different things that potentially looks good, but is not who you truly are. And when you put a mask, you will never make the best mask. I think that charismatic people are those people who really work in their lane of expertise, in their lane of passion, in their lane of obsession, in their lane of something that they love. And that's exactly what we need to work on. Really radical self-acceptance, radical self-honesty, radical self-embracing. All those things are very important to make sure that we live authentic and a charismatic life. Second thing that we need to think about in inner mastery is emotional mastery. Being able to regulate your emotions. And it's a beautiful thing because I think that sometimes we do not understand how much we're able to influence other people by our own emotion regulation. And that's what it is that a charismatic person is able to influence room's emotion. This is very, very interesting because a lot of times people say, "Oh, just my emotions got influenced by other person." What that means that is my flame is not that strong, and my flame is influenced by other person's flame. But charismatic people are able to say that I was able to influence emotion of that room. But you're not able to really influence a room's emotion if you're not able to influence your own mastery, your own emotion. When you're able to regulate your emotion, you're able to even start regulating the temperature in the room, the emotion in the room. It's very, very powerful. And that's why when people say, like, I just don't know what they did, but I just, all the room changed when a charismatic person came in. And that's why one of the things is really that emotional mastery. Second thing that we need to understand is energetic resonance. And that means that we're able to understand, okay, how we able to translate an energy. And I truly believe in vibrations, in energy levels. Okay, what kind of energy you are going through right now? I think that energy levels is like almost like emotion. You're able to transfer that emotion to other person, but you're able to transfer the energy levels as well. That means you can be low energy, you can be moderate or mild, or you can be like energetic person. And I think when you charismatic person is going in the room and it shows the energy within, I think that they're able to influence people in the room and elevate energy of the room as well. Um, so I guess when I think about inner mastery, there's so many things, and I think that we very very important to really work on yourself. And there's so many details that we need to understand, like our ego, um, and how is that influencing. But when we understand that inner mastery is the best thing to improve when you think about being more charismatic, I think that at that moment is a little bit more relief. Because I think that a lot of times we think that it's almost born with charisma. I think that's totally BS. I think that charisma is something that you build. And when you really have that belief that charisma is built, every single person is going out and really make things happen, become that charismatic, that the power that leads people to be drawn to. Second thing that I think is very, very important, really becoming more charismatic, is now more external focused. First, always inside out. It's always inside out. So they used to focus on internal. Second thing is really building relationship. So the first one was really like tuning a guitar, tuning yourself. Second thing is like building a bridge. Building a bridge. So that means if you want to connect with people, you need to build a bridge between where you are and where they are. And sometimes that is a long journey to build that beautiful, beautiful bridge on the foundation of trust, communication. And that means we need to build that we could really back and forth with other people. But that means that if you want to be more charismatic, you need to be able to communicate with other people. Charisma is always about external focus because people say, oh, this is a charismatic person because he's able to influence other people, but you're not able to influence people if you're not able to communicate well with other people. So what we need to learn how to become better in charismatic, how to become better in charisma. So number one, we need to really have that empathy and mirroring, understanding where people are coming from. Because we'll never be charismatic if you're not able to be empathetic. Being able to understand where people are. How are you supposed to transcend the motion of the room if you have no idea what the room is all about? What kind of emotion is having? So that means that being able to have that empathy and sometimes even mirror the energy, mirror the person who is talking to you, and then elevate that. Because one of the best way to really improve other person's life is being able to meet where they are and then take their hand and deliver them where they want to be. So I mean, sometimes when potentially you have an internal flame, massive flame, you want to really elevate them to next level immediately. But sometimes being able to see where they are, then they are much open to be delivered where they want to be, and that is a part of being able to be charismatic. And at the same time, emotional leadership. And I already mentioned that emotional leadership is that being able to lead in a lot of different ways, even lead in emotion. So it means that when you want to have some certain emotion in the company, you are business owner, and you really want to lead people to success. some of this emotion could be led by the leader. So what kind of leader, what kind of emotion the leader have? Because that emotion could be transferred to employees, and that emotion will be transferred to customers. So everything starts from a leader, but leader doesn't need to be some outrageous leader. He just need to be able to have the emotion that he wants to lead, and charisma is something that really allows to transfer that emotion. Such a powerful thing that I think that especially when you are a leader, maybe in a company, maybe you have a leadership position, executive position, or maybe a business owner, and you really want to lead. And a lot of times, leading, one of the best things to lead is through emotion, because we taking the best actions on emotions. Logic is a great thing. We're doing a lot of great things through logic, but I think that the best, most important key successes been achieving success through emotion. And that's why we need to have that charisma to transfer that emotion to other people. And that's why I think that Steve Jobs was one of the best CEOs ever, because he was able to transfer the emotion of the idea, not idea itself, not through logic, but through emotion. And he was a charismatic leader. And of course, as we want to really seek. And sometimes we need to understand that we need to really learn as charismatic people a whole space for people to really get it, understand it, move forward. Because not every single person will understand everything right away. Some people are harder. It might be that their internal light was off for so long. It's so cold that it'll take some time to find a candle. Sometimes people even think that they don't have a candle anymore. I mean, you really believe that they have a candle and start working on a candle. It means that charismatic people able to hold this space. And I think that the last thing, and I think that one of the key parts as well, that really charismatic people understand what true conversation is all about. True conversation is not about surface. True conversation is about depth, about being able to go deep understanding. So deep conversations is not about what everyone is doing every single day. True conversation, deep conversation is about who they are, their values, their beliefs, and how all the things that they do aligns with their values and where they want to go, who they want to become. Of course, you're not able to have those deep conversations every single day with the same person, but you're able and you need to have the deep conversation, just fully understand where they are, who they are, how they see themselves. Because when you're able to make that happen, people have different connection. You're not able to have the deepest connection until you have a deepest conversation. Heart conversation. And charismatic people are able to ask the right questions to get to the core of a person. And that leads to massive core connection. And last thing that I want to mention is that charisma transcends beyond self. So is that. And I think that we need to understand that I truly love that every single person is a river. Every single person is a river. Massive river, small river, doesn't matter. But what happens to every single river? What happens? Every single river goes to the ocean. Every single river goes to the ocean. So end up in the ocean. So that means every single person with charisma, person without charisma, goes in exactly the same spot. I think that is very important to understand that everyone goes in exactly the same spot. We have birth, we have death, and we go exactly the same spot. I think that we understand that. And we have that spiritual grounding. Spiritual grounding is one of the key aspects that really, I follow a lot of great leaders, and I always found that the best leaders are very grounded. And they most time is spiritually grounded, because that's understanding of transcending, that there's more than you. I think this is very, it's relief. It's a peace of mind, because a lot of times people are just overly stressed because they think that everything is about them. But spiritual grounding, it shows that it's not about you. It's about bigger picture, and bigger picture allows to execute much better because the stress is taken away from shoulders. It's a beautiful thing. I hope that you have some spiritual teacher that could really show you how to be spiritual grounded, because that is again part of being great charismatic leader. And I think that we need to understand that what true compassion means, what unconditional love means. Because I think that compassion and unconditional love is part of being spiritual grounded. Because if you really seek from other people some kind of conditional things, I think that's big part with loved ones. This thing, okay, if you follow this condition, I will love you. If you will be this one, if you will take action, I will love you. But if you don't take that action, okay, I will show my disappointment. I think that we need to learn how to be charismatic by really allowing people to be who they want to be. Share our opinions, share our perspectives, help them to really realize, influence them, lead by example, but not deny them because they chose a different path. Because that is not unconditional love. That is not a compassion. And I think that when we're able to really have unconditional love, that's spiritual grounded, I think that we have that sacred presence that you go into any kind of room. And sometimes even that, I don't know if you have felt that when people who are really masters of themselves, masters of relations, masters of spiritual grounding, sometimes when they come in a room, they can tell that there is a massive sacred presence in that person. And I hope that every single person will be able to achieve that. I hope that every single person will work towards that, achieving that presence that really influence people in a positive way, other people. Because a lot of times people don't have any calmness and they go outside and they're struggling, they have stress. And when they meet person who finally have that sacred presence, it calms people down. They're able to reflect, they're able to really see, okay, this is what's working, this is what's not working. I want to achieve this one, and they're able to take action. And that's what true leaders are. So those three things that we need to really understand about charisma and how to become more charismatic are three things: inner mastery, relational dynamics, and really the last one is transcendence beyond yourself. And when you really focus on those three things, I think that, as I said, every single person is a river going to an ocean, and that means every single person is able to really build that charisma that they will love and maybe see in other people. And first thing we need to understand what charisma is, then start working toward achieving that. So I hope you choose to win and see you tomorrow.